So you spend so much time and money on your master's in the UK, and now you are working on your dissertation. And this is where a lot of students start to find unexpected challenges. The dissertation is your final hurdle, but for a lot of students, this becomes a stumbling block. Why do so many international students struggle with their dissertation? Hi, I'm Dr. Ken Wong. In this video, I will share what I've observed from supervising and working with international master's students who are studying in the UK, and the top 3 reasons why they have failed their dissertations, and more importantly, how can you avoid these common pitfalls? So stick around, because understanding these challenges could be the key to not just surviving your dissertation, but also doing very well in it. Contrary to what most think, research design problems are not the main issues. They are symptoms of underlying issues with the way some international students approach and interact with the dissertation module. Research designs are relatively easier to fix with more reading and work, but the 3 reasons that I cover today are going to be more complicated. Your supervisor is your most valuable resource, yet many students underutilize this support, leading to very poor performance or even failure. As a supervisor, majority of my students only arrange about 2 or 3 supervision sessions before they submit. Some students fear that they will appear unprepared or incompetent if they ask too many questions. Some feel that they should not be asking for help on their work, or they do not want to bother their supervisors with their questions. If you are educated in an Asian country like me, our education system and our culture teaches us to maintain a certain distance from our teachers. In the UK higher education system, especially in the dissertation, your relationship between you and your research supervisor is very different. Their job is to push you to think deeper, broader, and answer your questions and support you as you do your research. Your supervisors are there to guide you, but only if you let them. For most dissertation modules, there is a supervision guidebook or a charter or a handbook or some sort of documentation that states how many sessions you are entitled to for your dissertation. Make full use of them. Here are 3 tips for you to make the most out of your supervision sessions and some of the common issues. Firstly, be proactive. Schedule regular meetings with a supervisor from the start. Even if you feel uncertain, these sessions are your chance to clarify your research direction and get feedback. You can choose to schedule according to checkpoints in the research, which I would recommend, or as and when you need help, but do make full use of all of the supervision sessions you are entitled to. Secondly, come prepared. Before each meeting, review your work, list specific questions, and highlight areas where you actually need help in. This shows your supervisor that you're engaged and you're serious about your research. Send your supervisor a list of things you would like to discuss a week before the session so that they can prepare materials if they need to. Thirdly, be open to feedback. Sometimes students avoid supervision because they're afraid of what they might hear about their research. Criticism isn't a sign of failure, it's an opportunity to improve. Engage in dialogue, ask for clarification, and don't be afraid to discuss challenges that you're facing. Your supervisor's job is to identify issues for you early so that you can make changes rather than waiting till it's too late. Now you know who you are and how you work with deadlines. A dissertation is not like an essay or an exam. The word count alone is practically impossible to rush close to the deadline. Not only that, this research that we're talking about here, you need to read, understand, collect data, process, and analyze data before you can even begin writing. The other issue for international students is that many of you are studying online while also holding full-time jobs. A dissertation module is very demanding of your time and can be very unpredictable as well because of the nature of the research. I always remind my students that you need to carve out time for the dissertation. You may find yourself having to make sacrifices, and the dissertation is not just a bigger module. It is a completely different ball game from what you have experienced before in your previous modules. 3 tips for you over here. Number 1, plan your research and writing and revisit it every 2 weeks. A table and a Gantt chart is often required, but students often neglect it after they create it. Keep it updated regularly. Your dissertation is very tight and you cannot afford any delays to snowball within your research. Plan your work and your personal life around your dissertation where possible. There's going to be some areas of your dissertation where you will find that it's going to require more time and consistency like your data collection or analysis of your writing. And there are often times in your dissertation where it is difficult to return to it periodically, and you need to work on it constantly or even daily. Be prepared to have to take annual leave, swap shifts, and be disciplined about blocking out protected time for your dissertation. Finally, research something that interests you. The dissertation requires a lot of your focus. If you research something just because it looks easy and you have no interest in it, you're going to be in for a very difficult time. By researching something that is interesting to you or helps you further your professional career, you are creating more motivation and reasons for you to work harder on it. I talk more about this in this video above, so go have a look. Commit to the dissertation. Recognize that this is likely your very last hurdle before the master's is completed. Sacrifices are necessary, dedication is required. Half-hearted effort usually leads to failing the dissertation or needing to resubmit or even extend your dissertation deadline. At that point, you are just prolonging it. Give this final hurdle your all and you'll be glad to see what you can achieve. For a lot of international students, this might be the first time you've encountered research methods, or this may be the first time you have conducted research. However, because this is a master's module that we are talking about, you are expected to demonstrate advanced knowledge and skills in research. If this is the first time you're encountering a research module, you need to work on your research fundamentals very quickly because the module is likely to expect you to have some base knowledge of research. Sometimes students also underestimate or misunderstand the complexities of research. Some research methods like literature reviews or systematic reviews or even some qualitative research methods, they look easy, but they can be quite deceptive. Many students at the master's level gravitate to literature reviews because there is no need for ethical approvals or data collection. While admin-wise, they may look more straightforward, the complexity of literature review type research is the synthesis of research studies. Instead of only needing to know one research method, like most empirical research dissertations, you need to have a good understanding in a broad range of research methods to be able to review the literature and appraise their research methods. Qualitative research may sound easier because you don't have to deal with mathematics or statistics and you need smaller sample sizes. While both true, the difficulty of qualitative research is demonstrating depth and complex interconnections between the ideas. Quantitative research can sound easier because you can just use SPSS or Excel to process your data in just seconds, but its complexity comes when you report the statistics and develop conclusions based on those statistics. And you also need to be able to explain why you have done whichever statistical test you have chosen. Each research method is going to have its difficulties and complexities. If this is the first time you have done research, then all research are likely to be equally challenging for you. Do not underestimate them and allow the research and your early exploration of the research idea guide you on what research method is required or best fits what you want to investigate. If you have learned something from this video, give it a little likey like, and if you'd like to see me tackle more issues about academic life and research as an international student, subscribe to my channel. If you have specific difficulties about your dissertation, drop in the comments and I may make a video about it. Dissertations are tricky. On the surface, it may look like a larger essay or a bigger module, but it is a completely different way of learning and assessment. This is why we have supervisors to support you through the module rather than having large group lectures. There is a tendency to shift towards smaller classes and closer support because of this. You have learned how to ensure that you do well in your dissertation and prevent yourself from failing. Let's look at how you can take your dissertation further and help you land a promotion or even a PhD after the master's. Click on this video to learn more and I will see you in the next video. Bye!